What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So, today I'm going to get right into it. What I want to do today is talk to all of you, either incoming sellers on eBay or other platforms who want to sell HBA or cosmetics and in those categories, or some of you who may have been selling in those categories and you may be finding it difficult to have success. So, let's get right to it. I'm gonna just share with you guys my experience over the years and what I've seen, what I've been through, and how you can be successful. Because I know a lot of y'all will be selling on eBay, and there's some differences between a lot of differences actually between selling on eBay over Amazon and Walmart, especially with eBay's promoted listings money grab that they implemented over the last couple of years or so. Okay. And so let's just start with, is it even profitable and worth it to sell health and beauty on eBay these days? And I will say this, it depends on what you're selling. Okay. So now if I go back, let's just go back to the days before promoted listings. Search was still working well, no promoted listings. It was good to sell HBA and cosmetics. I mean, you could even sell items for $6, $7, still make a couple dollars or so. For the most part, make a few dollars actually, depending on how much money you had in the item. Now that is so I did a calculation, right? And I'm gonna do it again. If you guys don't have eProfit Calculator on your phone, then you should download that app. It's a really good app and it allows you to do some really good calculations for profit. Okay, so look, right now, if I have an item, let's just say, and this is low dollar stuff, y'all. I'm only doing low dollar because I know depending on the type of items that you're getting, the lots that you're buying, you're going to get some low dollar items. And the question is whether or not it's even worth it. All right, we're going to get into low dollar items, high dollar, should you even buy it, whatever. We'll get into that in a second. But let's just say I have an item listed for $7.95 on eBay. Okay. Now we'll start with the minimum. We'll say I promote that at 2%. And I'll say that my cost in that item, let's say my cost in the item is $2. Now I generally get my items for less than $2 most of the time, depending on what I'm buying. But I think $2 is it's a good fair like middle ground type of price. You might get it depending on who you purchase from and how much you purchase. You can get anywhere from $1 all the way up to $3. I'm not buying nothing for $3 a piece unless it's like higher end stuff. So, all right, so you got $2, and then shipping. If I can't remember exactly offhand, but I want to say I'm on the East Coast. So from the East Coast to the West Coast, if I got and this is just a light item, okay, we're going to say it's a 4-ounce item. It's about $4.44. All right, somewhere around there. So on that item, promoted at 2% with a $2 cost of goods and shipping for $4.44, I make a whopping 10 cents. You see that? I make a whopping 10 cents on eBay. And that's 2%. And now if you promoting a $7 item at 2%, good luck selling that. Unless it's a very, very high in demand item. I usually promote at 5%. So if I was to list that same item and use my 5% promoted, I would be losing 14 cents. Now, if let me see, calculator. All right, so we're gonna go with that same item on Walmart because Walmart fees for items under $10 is 10%. And things differ between categories and things like that, but it's just a flat rate. So if I select on my calculator that I'm using beauty category, and here I can show you guys, give me a second. All right, here's the fee calculator. So I selected beauty. Item price $7.95. We did $2 item cost, and we did shipping of $4.44. Right. So if we look down here, we see the referral fee is only 64 cents. Total cost 708, and you make 87 cents. My point is, now 87 cents is not a lot of money, but I'm doing this to make a point. My point is that you actually almost make a whole dollar on that item. Now, if you buy pallets of this stuff like I do, and you're getting thousands and thousands of units, and I mean like 2 to 10,000 units, well, I mean, if you sell 80, let's just say you got 400 or 500 units of something that's making you 87 cents and it's selling really fast. Well, that's doable, right? And so I wanted to show you guys that, because to show you that selling on eBay in the health and beauty space is not what it used to be. It's not what it used to be. Now, if I took that promoted away, it only go up to 26 cents on that same item, 26 cents. So it's a volume game if you want to do it that way. Now, the thing is this: if most of these sites that's selling these lots, unfortunately, they're selling you the low dollar items. Okay, that's just the truth of the matter. So buying a lot of 100, 200, 500, maybe even 1,000 units to sell on eBay of cosmetics and makeup, it's not going to be worth it. I've been seeing over these last couple years, these items have been slowing. Now, I don't know if it's eBay search that's messed up. I sure as heck ain't about to be promoting at no 8, 9, 10% for these items. I don't know what it is, but these items used to move fairly quickly on eBay. They did. Heck, even some of the, the name brand stuff that usually sells, like that people know about, it'll sit. And so there's two things. I don't know if you just got to have a bigger store now, or what it is, but unless you're going to have a store on eBay with thousands of units, okay, it's just not going to be worth it to sell the low dollar amount or the low dollar items on eBay. It's not worth it. What I've started doing, because I tried a few different things, I'll lot stuff up. And of course, in that case, you're doing that. You really ain't looking to make money off of that lot, as far as like if you're looking at it from a profit per item point of view, you're losing profit per item. But you will be hoping that you're making your profit on your higher dollar items, so that even though you're selling those profits technically at a loss, it's all profit because you made your money back on the higher dollar items. However, when you buy from a lot of these sites, there's only a few high dollar items, and so you're not going to make your money back off of it. I can almost guarantee you that, especially now if you're only selling on eBay with promoted listings. And it's slowed down. Now, I follow a few stores, and there's a lot of stores that when I was at like 2,000 listings, 2,500, they were about the same. But now these stores are at 7, 8, 9, 10,000 listings, and you look through their sales, and they are selling. But I've also noticed a lot of sellers, and especially those types of sellers, they're doing mostly lots, especially of the lower dollar items. So it'll be like a lot of 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so they're doing that. And so to survive on eBay in the cosmetic and health and beauty space, you're not going to survive on low dollar items. You used to be able to do it if you did volume, but now you'll be losing, and you'll have to do way too much volume. I just gave y'all the percentage on that. So I have myself been kind of pulling back from, not kind of, I've been pulling back from that. I'll do lots, and I'm slowly but surely changing up the whole outlook of my store. As of right now, I just checked too. If I'm not mistaken, my average sale price, they want me to log back in. My average sale price on eBay, anyway, I ain't about to log in and do all that. My average sale price on eBay is at $20 now. When I was doing volume, okay, in a year that I did $150,000 in gross sales on eBay, my average sale price was about $8 and some change. That was my average sale price. So my profit, my total overall profit wasn't that high, but it wasn't that bad because I still was running everything out of my house at that time, and so my overhead was low. So it was cool, and I was still working my job and stuff like that. And so for that situation, it was fine. It was just a lot of shipping that I had to do. If I was to do that same thing today with those same types of items, I couldn't. I couldn't because I got overhead and things like I couldn't do it on just eBay. What I would have to do is increase that average sale price from that $8 like I have and have volume going in. It just wouldn't be worth it. Okay. And so if you looking to sell health and beauty in 2024, period, if you want to sell health and beauty, period, you have to be able to sell on multiple platforms unless you're willing to have a large eBay store or unless you can source higher end items uh, at a decent rate or a whole bunch of those lower end ones at rock bottom prices that you can lot up and still sell at a deal to make it worth it for people. But the problem is a lot of times people don't want like three, four, five, six of the same type of shade or things like that. You know what I mean? And so you'll still be sitting on that stuff. I'm gonna give you another example. I can have a dot. Okay, if I go, I'm gonna use this Walmart calculator again. All right, use this Walmart calculator again. Let's just say I'm gonna take out what I'm gonna do on the Walmart calculator, right? I'm gonna take out the cost of good. Okay, you can even do that on eBay. If you took out the cost of good on eBay and you just added your 5% promotion, your promoted listing, 5% on that $7.95 item at $4 shipping, you would make $1.86. And look, for you guys that I'm not saying sell low dollar. I'm just trying to give y'all like the lowest aspect because I still go around these sites and I see a lot of somebody's buying this stuff. And I know a lot of them are on eBay because I see the eBay sellers. And then when I look at their stores, I say, these people can't be making money. There's no way they're making money, right? So look, $1.86 if I took out the cost of goods. And the only reason why I'm taking out the cost of good number is that I am assuming that you make your money back on higher end items that come in your lots or pallets. Okay. I'll have, let's say I buy 5,000 units. There's a lot of units in them that sell for 10, 15, $20 or more because some of the stuff is discontinued. And so in that case, I'm not worried about the six, but I can't sell those lower dollar items on eBay no more like I used to because one, they not moving, and then with promoted listings, it's really killing me. So I'm gonna take out the $2 on Walmart. So that takes me that same item to 287. So on eBay, I would make $1.86, and on Walmart, I would make $2.87. And that same profit is going to be about the same if I'm doing Amazon Merchant Fulfill. And so as you can see, we at an extra dollar just selling on one of these other platforms. And most importantly, the items are selling at a much faster rate. And I'm not saying that everything sells like, but I'm just saying for the most part, the same item that's not moving on eBay will sell at a very fast rate on either Walmart or Amazon. And so you can get away with making these $2, $3, $4 profits when you have hundreds, if not thousands, of units. If you want to sell health and beauty, you have to understand that volume is the name of the game. It's going to be very difficult to get a high amount of high end stuff. You can. It's going to take time. It's going to take finding sources and things like that. But at the end of the day, this is going to take also capital. If you want to do this on the side, I think the best way for some of the sellers, from some of y'all to start, might be if you still got your job and you just want to do it on the side. And because it's so easy to get, look, I do buy other stuff, but this is just so easy to get, and it's so easy to get a lot of it and keep the cash flow coming in. And I can just have it delivered to me. So if you still working a job and you don't have overhead, then you can kind of like work that into your business and you can make money doing it because you don't have to worry about it. But if you got a job and you got kids and all of that, then it still might be difficult because to make the type of profit you would need, you would have to do volume, and that's going to take a lot of time. I'm telling you from experience, it's going to take a lot of time, which is the reason why I've been increasing my sell through, or not sell through, but average sell price on all platforms, but especially eBay. And this takes me back to what I was about to say. I've been taking a lot of those lower dollar items that even sell on Walmart and Amazon, and now I ain't even wasting my time with those as much because I just put them in lots of 100 or so, and I sell them off in lots of 100 because it's just so much easier. Because look, again, I'm assuming I'm making my money on the higher end items that comes in a lot, and then two, it's just one box. I throw it in one box. I ship out one time. It's one price. I'm not using all my time. I'm not using more material. So time and material opportunity right there that I'm able to save money on, and so I'm doing it that way now even. And so if you're looking to sell health and beauty into 2024, one, you have to source correctly, man. Don't buy from these sites that don't require sales tax licenses and that it's just out there for anybody to get, because I can almost assure you you're getting the majority of their low dollar items. They may throw in a couple high dollar ones just to make you say ooh and keep you coming back, but it's going to be a struggle. It's going to be a struggle unless maybe you buy 2,500 to 5,000 units, but still, then that's a grind, right? I would suggest, one, if you don't have a sales tax license, that you get that, and then two, once you get it, start looking for sites that require that, because then you can find some better quality. And look, the price is still good, man. The prices are still good. I'm not about to put out, of course, where I'm buying from, but I got one person or one company that I purchased from that I could buy 5,000 units at $1.38 a piece, and that's shipped. And again, a good majority of those items are going to be high dollar amount items, but then there's a good part of them that's going to be lower dollar amount items, and then there's a part of them that are going to be, I guess, what you might call undesirables. In the past, I used to waste my time thinking I had to list a lot of that stuff, right? Oh, I'm gonna list this. I got it. So I don't do that no more. I don't do that, and it's changed. Like it's helped me move the inventory faster, and it's just changed my perspective. I don't have time to do that. And so if if it's not fitting the new price model on eBay, most likely not going to go up there. And if it's not selling fast enough, even though it's a low dollar amount item, if it's not selling fast enough on Walmart and Amazon, because there are some items that don't sell that fast, then I won't, and then I'll just sell it off in a lot. I got listings for lots of a 50 to 100 and on eBay and Amazon, so I'll just sell them that way, and I move them, and they're not sitting there, because inventory to just sit there, that's money sitting there. That's money sitting there. Again, when I first started this, I didn't think of that as much, and I would just let the stuff sit there, and time would go by, and you got 1 month to 2 months to 6 months. There was times a year later I would be like, man, I still got this, and it's like a $7. What the hell am I doing? Why am I holding on to a $7 item? And so I don't do none of that no more. I give it a very, very short window to sell, and if it ain't selling, and somebody order one of my 100-piece lot, it's going right in there, and it's out of there. Another thing is that when you buy these lots, you're going to get some items that are not in perfect condition, right? They could be a little bit damaged. If it's health and beauty, things could be missing caps. Here's a good thing about eBay, and here's why eBay is still necessary. A lot of that stuff, as long as it hasn't been used, you can still sell it. For instance, I got some Cetaphils, and I got some CeraVes, they in the bottles, but the pumps are broke, right? I can't sell that stuff on Walmart and Amazon, but I can sell it on eBay. Yeah, it devalues the item, but it's still sellable. And so one of the things you have to do is you have to learn how to take an item that might not seem sellable to you and make it sellable. And I'm not saying do nothing like weird or wrong or nothing like that, all right? But when you buy this stuff a lot, one thing that will happen is you'll start getting a lot of the same types of items. And so when you do find that, oh man, this maybe it's spilled out a little bit and bottles half full. A lot of people will be like, oh, this is trash and this is that. I got a whole box and area that I just put that stuff into the side because I know eventually I'm going to get it again. And if it happens again where I get a bottle that's spilled out or whatever, I can go over there and do that. Now, sometimes I'll just take it home and give it to the family to use or whatever. But I've learned to hold on to stuff like that and not toss it if I'm not going to use it because eventually I'll get it again. And then, let's just say I got 2 bottles of Cetaphil, right? That's the same. And this one was spilled out and the cap is broken stuff. Well, you really can't sell it that way. So I'll just throw it to the side. Then I get another one. Maybe that's the same way, right? You're going to get that. And then, I just fill it up the rest of the way and that's how you sell it. But this is stuff that I'm buying from liquidation from the company, so it could be like Target. So I know it's legit stuff, right? But only way that you would kind of get rid of something is if uh broken seals. What else? Or just don't look expiration dates and things like that. Those are the type of things you don't want to play with because you don't want to get people like sick or rashes or none of that. But main thing is that you have to learn how to squeeze out every penny, if that makes sense, right? And so selling health and beauty in 2024 on eBay is a little bit more difficult. But if you have the tools, then you can do it and it can still be profitable. But again, a lot of the stores are going larger. And unless you have the capital or the time and the space to build stores like that, then it might not be as worth it unless you can source items that have a higher average sale price, which you can. It's out there, trust me, but you're going to pay more for it too. Um, but then that opens up the door for other platforms. Those platforms, namely Walmart and Amazon, where those items sell quickly and it could be worth your time if you're moving a high volume amount of units. If at the end of the day, y'all, it's very hard today to sell low dollar items in the health and beauty and cosmetic space and make it worth it if you're not doing a volume. Just the days of buying a 50-piece lot and a 100-piece lot and it being like making you money, I just don't see it. I don't see it. I don't think it's worth it. A lot of these sites are still selling them, so somebody must think, but I know the numbers because I've sold it. I still got stuff up on all platforms. They sell for different prices. I got the calculators. I can just do the calculations. I can see if it's worth it or not. And in a lot of cases on eBay, it's definitely not worth it unless you're building a larger store and you have multiple units and you're making lots. And on the other 2 platforms, it could be worth it, but you do have to move a lot of units. So you have to be able to put in that time and use those materials to get that stuff out. So I hope that this helps anybody who wants to sell health and beauty in 2024, or if you've been thinking about it. If you're thinking about it on eBay, I would advise against it. Honestly, I know you might think like I'm exaggerating. I'm not exaggerating. If you're not going to have a big store and you don't have capital to invest a lot of money and buy a lot, I mean it's like some thousands into inventory. I wouldn't do it. Don't buy a lot of 100 or 200 items from one of these websites that's selling this stuff. And y'all know the names. I ain't gonna say no names, but the usual suspects. Don't do it. Save your money. Buy something else. Buy a lot of electronics, or don't do makeup and all of that, man. Because you might even make a few bucks, but if you're buying 200, 300 pieces, 500, it's not worth it. It's just not worth it. Let's just say you averaged $2 a profit per item, because this is what these people gonna sell you, right? The lots that I'm buying, I'm getting items that I'm buying that I have $1.38 into, but it'll sell for 15, $20, and still only shipping for $4, five baby at the most. So like that's a whole different thing. But let's just say you got 500 units and they sell for $2 each, right? So that's $1,000. That's a flip. But here's the thing: not all 500 of those units is going to sell for $2. On average, depending on who you buy from, that could work. On average, I mean that's not outside the realm of possibility for you to be able to flip your money and make $1,000 off of 500 units of health and beauty and makeup. It's not outside the realm of possibility for you to average $2 profit. But the thing is, you're going to make some be a dollar profit, some might be 87 cents, but then you got to have a bunch of them that's going to be $5, $6, $7, $8, $9, $10 profit. And I can almost assure you that the majority of the usual sites are not going to give you enough items to make that happen. And here's the other thing. A lot of times you're going to get the shades of things that are not desirable. You usually get a bunch of those. You get some good ones. So like, for instance, you might get, let's say it's some lipsticks. You might get one or two, let's say you get 1 or 2, 3 shades of lipstick that are discontinued. You'd be like, oh, cool. You might get $15, $20 for that. But then you might get like 15, 20 shades that's that sell for like $6, $7 and they ain't even selling. That's you know what I mean? See, I used to, when I first started, I used to still list those things and try to wait. I already know now. So when I know or when I see that, first of all, I ain't putting none of that type of stuff on eBay no more. Back in the day, I would have. But if when I get items like that now, those go into my 100 lot. And even the listing I got on eBay, I even put in there like this ain't necessarily a reselling lot, right? This ain't for resellers. This is just like for gifts or personal use or practice or whatever. I'm not marketing those lots as reseller boxes, but it's all still new stuff. I do advertise in the listing that if it's supposed to be sealed, it's going to be sealed and it's going to be in good condition. Might have some stickers or something on it, but I ain't sending out no crap. But I'm not trying to misrepresent the stuff either. But I'm not about to hold it and try to sell it. And so that has been helping me just keep the cash flow going. And again, my higher dollar items carry the day as far as that goes. And so that actually, in reality, is all profit when I'm not looking at it from a, item per item cost of goods basis, which is what I used to do in the beginning. And I thought that like, man, if I don't get this amount, then I'm not losing because you're making your money hopefully off of the higher dollar items. Okay. And so just beware, y'all. Beware, man. Know what you're getting into before you start. Health and beauty is it's a grind. Health and beauty and cosmetics is a grind, no matter how you look at it. Unless you can get a really good connection, and that's going to be difficult, especially just starting off. It's very unlikely, and so it's not like it used to be, man. Pre-COVID, no, I ain't even gonna say that. Pre, pre-promoted listings and pre-eBay messing up the search, you could do it with a few thousand items in your store and be just fine. Especially if you had a job, you could do it and get away with it. But you can't do that no more on eBay. You really can't. It's just not worth it unless you got a huge store. If you disagree with me, let me know in the comments, please. But if you're going to sell on Amazon and Walmart, you could do it. But again, you still have to be moving volume. And you still have to be selling, in my opinion, thousands of units to make it worth it. But the good thing is that they'll actually sell, and you don't have to promote the listing. And so, that's just my advice in that space, y'all. It's a very lucrative space to sell in. If you're willing to put in the work, you can make money. It's going to take money. This ain't like thrifting. This ain't like garage sales. This ain't like estate sales. Unless you find a really good connection. So your cost of goods throughout the year is going to be much, much higher. So, and look, my point in bringing that up is that it takes money to make money. And in this space, if you really want to make money, you're going to have to spend it. And so some of y'all that's thinking about it and you thinking it's like, don't go for the marketing on these websites like, oh, this is a high profit reseller. Because I'm telling you, 9 times out of 10, it's not. It's not. It's really not. And if you ain't buying a lot, just don't buy it. Don't buy no lot of 100 or 200 because you're going to be using most of it because this shit ain't going to sell. Excuse my language. But it ain't going to sell. And if it do sell, you're going to be losing money. So that's just my thoughts on that. For me, I've been doing it long enough. I found a way to make it work. It's a grind. I ain't going to lie to you and act like it ain't. There is ways to increase your average sale price. But you need to learn how to make lemonade out of lemons. So you gotta learn how to get rid of stuff. You have to get rid of stuff. Don't list the stuff that's just not worth listing. That's the main thing. And on eBay these days, I had a bunch of SE nail polish, right? Actually, I got a bunch now, but I had this was the previous load. I got about 700 units sitting at my storage unit right now. But this was the previous load. I listed them across all the platforms. Only the units that I had a bunch of units of. Some of the units, or some of the shades, there wasn't that many units. But the shades that I had a bunch of units of, I listed across all the platforms. So Amazon, Walmart, and eBay. Do you know? And these were shades that were desirable in selling. Do you know? And I promoted at 5%. Do you know that I did not sell not one on eBay and I sold out on the other two platforms? Like 500 units. Well, sorry, not 500 units. That was the total amount. But if I had to say the shades that I put, there was probably 5 different shades that I was able to cross post like that. There were about 5 different shades that I had that many units where I was like, all right, I can put these up on all 3 because I ain't gonna get jammed up with them overselling, right? 5 different shades. Now one of those sold on eBay. And so I know it wasn't that it was just a bad color that nobody wanted because they sold out on the other 2. They sold out on the other 2, right? I didn't sell one on eBay. Not one. That's how I know eBay ain't to say. And I was promoting at 5%. And eBay suggested I promote at 12. You got to be out of your freaking mind. There's no way I'm doing that. No way I'm doing that. And not only that, y'all. Listen, I only had them listed for anywhere between like $7.95 to $8.95. And I was like, all right, I'm gonna do this because part of me wanted to see like will they sell because they were selling for more than that on the other 2 platforms. These shades they were selling for like $9, $10 on the other platforms, right? So and they selling fast. So $9, $10 only like 10% or so for selling fee, and they light, and you might get a couple orders that's like two, 3 at a time. Cool. None on eBay, even though the price was lower. None, man. So I don't know if it's eBay's algorithm. You ain't getting the views. It just ain't the same. Now again, pre-promoted listings, I would have sold a few of those on eBay for sure. I would have sold a few for sure. And so eBay just did something to mess it all up. And what used to just be good over there, it just ain't good no more. And so you got to change things up. And that's the thing about this business. You got to be willing to change it up. Sometimes it might hurt your business for a second while you figure it out. But that's why you have cash reserves. That's why you plan ahead. That's why you spread out your opportunities and you don't limit yourself to just one platform. There's ways to make these business models work. You just have to be willing to put in the time. You got to be flexible and you got to be persistent and consistent. 2 of the most important things: persistent and consistent. You can't just give up when a couple things go wrong. And not only that, you have to fight the good fight day in and day out if you're serious about it. All right. I'm not saying try to make something work that's losing you money, but if you know it's making money and it can work, do it. Because there's a lot of people out there doing it, so you know it can make money. You just gotta look and see. If I know this type of company or these sellers are making money because they've been doing this for years, I've been watching their stores. Not only have I been watching them sell stuff, their stores have been growing. Why? Right? Why? But again, eBay's good too for if you are ordering those pallets of health and beauty and cosmetics, because again, you can sell on eBay the stuff that's imperfect when it has broken pumps or the packaging ain't perfect and there's just things wrong with it. That's one of the real good things about eBay is that stuff will still sell on eBay. And as long as you put in your listing what's going on with the item, you won't get no complaints. You can't do that on the other two. And so that right there is good. And that's why I still put a lot of that stuff up on eBay, because a lot of times I get it. And again, the pumps are broken, the boxes are damaged. You might have some stains, you might have some rips, you might have this and that, who knows? And an item that might have sold for 20, 30, $40 on Amazon or Walmart, I can still get like maybe 15 or 20 on eBay. That's cool, right? It's cool. It's not a total loss. And if you got multiples, you can lot them up. Again, that's another reason why you want to do volume, because you can create lots that add value and it saves you time. But that's all I got for y'all today, man. If you figured that this was helpful, do me a favor. Make sure you hit the like button. Tell me your experiences with selling health and beauty on any platform, especially eBay though. And have you thought about getting into the health and beauty business? If so, I'd be more than happy to answer any of your questions down below. Hit that notification bell, and I'll see y'all again in the next one.